Moving on, communication. We have no speakers for tonight, so we move on to superintendent's recommendations and reports. Mr. Smith?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, I would like to ask Mrs. Howard to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional and Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening. Under Personnel Professional, number 1, extracurricular resignation, letter A. Number 2, unpaid leave of absences, letters A and B. And number 3, employment, letters A through D. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Well, that made it hard. Let's go with Mr. Clark and then Ms. Birdie. For a first and a second.
Ready?
Ms. Lane, please call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum? Yes. Mrs. Shorter? Yes. Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Number 1, resignation, letter A. Number 2, an unpaid leave of absences, letters A through E. Number 3, employment, letters A through F. And number 4, correction, letter A. That concludes all the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. Again, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
We're going to go with that. Mrs. Gundrum for a first and Mrs. Shorter for a second. Mrs. Lane, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Gundrum? Yes. Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.